Have you ever heard of a world war that happened over 3,000 years ago? A global catastrophe that wiped entire civilizations off the map? It wasn't a war with tanks or planes, but it was just as devastating. This is the story of the Bronze Age collapse, one of the greatest mysteries in human history. Picture this, it's over 3 millennia ago. The world, from the sunny shores of Greece to the fertile plains of Mesopotamia, is a bustling, interconnected network of powerful empires. The Egyptians are building colossal pyramids, the Mycenaeans in Greece are crafting intricate gold masks, and the mighty Hittites rule from their fortified capital in modern-day Turkey. This was a truly globalized world, much like our own. Giant cargo ships sailed the Mediterranean, their holds packed with precious goods. Imagine a shipwreck discovered off the coast of Turkey, the Uluburan shipwreck. It was a time capsule from this lost world. Inside, archaeologists found copper from Cyprus, tin from far-off Afghanistan, the essential ingredients for bronze plus elephant tusks, ostrich eggs, and dazzling jewelry from every corner of the known world. It was an age of incredible wealth, technological marvels, and complex trade networks. These kingdoms depended on each other, trading, warring, and thriving in a delicate balance of power. Then, around the year 1200 BC, it all came crashing down. In just a few decades, this vibrant world collapsed into dust. Mighty cities were burned to the ground. Palaces were abandoned. Entire empires vanished, seemingly overnight. Literacy disappeared in places like Greece, plunging the region into a centuries-long dark age. The survivors were left to pick through the ruins of a once great civilization. So, what happened? For a long time, historians pointed to one main culprit, the Sea Peoples. This mysterious coalition of seafaring raiders swept across the Mediterranean, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. We have dramatic accounts from Egypt, where Pharaoh Ramesses III fought 2 massive battles against them. His temple walls show vivid carvings of chaotic sea battles, with Egyptian ships clashing against the invaders' fleet. The Egyptians barely managed to fight them off. Other civilizations weren't so lucky. The great Hittite capital, Hattusa, was torched. The prosperous port city of Ugarit was razed. Letters found in the ashes tell a desperate story. The king of Ugarit wrote to a neighboring ruler pleading for help, saying, "My father, behold, the enemy's ships came here. My cities were burned, and they have done evil things in my country." It was a desperate cry for help that went unanswered. The Sea Peoples were like a tidal wave of destruction. They weren't just warriors. They were migrants, with their families in tow, suggesting they were refugees displaced by some other disaster. But were these invaders the sole cause of the collapse? Many experts now believe they were a symptom, not the disease. The real story is far more complex and frighteningly relevant to our world today. It seems the Bronze Age civilizations were brought down by a perfect storm of calamities. One of the biggest factors was climate change. Scientists drilling into the seabed of the Sea of Galilee discovered evidence of a devastating megadrought that struck the region around 1250 BC. This wasn't just a dry spell. It was a catastrophic drought that lasted for over 150 years. Rivers dried up, crops failed, and famine spread across the land. While empires like Egypt, with the mighty Nile, could weather the storm for a while, others were pushed to the brink of starvation. It's no coincidence that the invasions of the Sea Peoples happened during the peak of this famine. They were likely desperate people, driven from their homes by hunger, searching for new lands to settle. But that's not all. The earth itself seemed to be turning against them. Geoscientists have found evidence of a so-called earthquake storm, a rapid succession of powerful earthquakes that rocked the eastern Mediterranean between 1225 and 1175 BC. Imagine living through decades where the ground beneath your feet is constantly shaking, toppling your cities and disrupting your life. One by one, these stressors piled up: drought, famine, earthquakes, and waves of desperate migrants and raiders. Any single one of these events might have been survivable, but together, they created a cascade of failure. The delicate web of trade that held their world together began to unravel. When trade routes for copper and tin were cut, the production of bronze, the very metal that defined the age, ground to a halt. The economic engine of their civilization stalled. One kingdom's collapse put immense pressure on its neighbors, creating a domino effect that spread across the entire region. The interconnectedness that had once been their greatest strength became their biggest vulnerability. In the aftermath, the world was a different place. The mighty Mycenaeans and Minoans of Greece were gone. The Hittite Empire ceased to exist. In Greece, even the knowledge of writing was lost for centuries. The complex script known as Linear B, used by scribes to keep palace records, vanished. It was as if society had to be completely rebooted. But humans are resilient. From the ashes of the collapse, a new world began to emerge. The Assyrians and Egyptians, though weakened, endured. An innovation sparked in the face of necessity. With the bronze trade dead, people turned to a new, more abundant metal, iron. The people of Cyprus, once masters of copper, reinvented themselves as masters of iron. This new technology wasn't just a replacement. It was an upgrade. Iron plows were more efficient, and iron swords were deadlier. The Iron Age had begun. The collapse of the Bronze Age is a powerful, humbling story. It reminds us that no civilization, no matter how advanced or powerful, is immune to collapse. It shows how a combination of climate change, natural disasters, and social upheaval can bring even the mightiest empires to their knees. It's a lesson from over 3,000 years ago, written in dust and ruins, that speaks directly to the challenges we face in our own interconnected world today. What do you think was the biggest factor in the collapse? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this journey into the past fascinating, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. Thanks for watching.